14 minutes of Assassin's Creed Shadows gameplay. We're gonna take a look into the deep dive gameplay presentation of Ubisoft. Stay tuned for that. What's up guys, I'm Franky Boy on this channel. I am covering everything regarding Assassin's Creed. Welcome to the family if you're new here, and yeah, thank you so much for the early access to the footage, of course. Yeah, let's dive right into it and start from the start, the very beginning, and have a listen as well to the audio, of course, of Assassin's Creed Shadows. The new gameplay trailer is just out, and of course, a Ubisoft original.
Benevolence and cruelty. I tread my own path in this divided land.
Alright, so first up we see Yasuke. He's approaching a valley, and this is of course a quest connected to the secret box I received from Ubisoft. If you don't know the solution to that, we found out where to look for which targets, and those targets are to be approached right here in Fukujiyama.
Many hands.
One hint, it's only HD quality and it's a low bitrate made for YouTube, so please keep that in mind. Regarding the graphics, we cannot really see how the game really looks. I would say, of course, it's on max settings. I don't know on PC, I would say, but we can already see ray traced reflections, for example, in the streets, on the water. And yeah, it's looking pretty atmospheric in my opinion. Not that I see a huge graphics bump compared to Assassin's Creed Odyssey Origins from 2017. To be honest with you guys, it still looks like an Odyssey Plus game to me right now. But yeah, we don't know how this will evolve eventually, how it will turn out, and how it will look later on when it's more polished, maybe. Still 5 months to go, but I wouldn't expect a lot, to be honest. We see some reflections in the armor as well, and yeah, ray tracing has made it to Assassin's Creed finally. Now after 4 years that Watch Dogs Legion already had ray traced reflections. We're approaching the first part of the quest right here. I already saw the video, and we're talking to a woman about our first part of the quest. The first part is with Yasuke, the second one is with Naoe in stealth. The first one, of course, not stealthy, right? First up, of course, bow down.
Samurai.
Yep,
one
samurai.
That does not hail from these lands.
I am a stranger, yes, but you have nothing to fear from me.
Ha! I have enough to fear from the men of Fukujiyama. They abuse their power, taxing us again and again, leaving us only scraps. I bet they are in the market now, along the main road. A stranger might make good merit, ridding a village of a threat like these men.
Is that so? Then I shall see it done. For this life, if not the next.
Alright, so we got our first hints for our first quest. We need to assassinate Fujioka. He's in Tamba and roams around the town of Fukujiyama, and he is harassing the people. So we need, of course, to protect those people. Right here we can see a lot of different types of NPCs. It's already very crowded in my opinion, and looking quite alive for a game. From Ubisoft, I would say it looks a little bit more alive than Assassin's Creed Odyssey Street, for example, or yeah, but let's see how it really feels. And I already get the feeling that those shops right here on the sides, or those houses, they're just there for being there and not maybe useful to us. So Yasuke is approaching the guard right here, and this might be a hint for an upcoming fight, right? But first, let's dive into a cutscene. Fujioka Jiro, our target, has been spotted over there, and we will approach with our first weapon, the blunt mace, or I don't know how it's really called, to be honest. But you can see down below that we have two different kind of weapon sets. The first one is, of course, the blunt or the mace, I don't know. And the second one is the katana. We also have 3 potions or health kits with us, and a sound option. I don't know if that's a shout or something. On the right hand side we have 3 abilities, and the first one will be displayed pretty soon with a visual effect. Black and white effect with a jump, and we also have a shout and a third ability that I can really nothing I can't really say anything to that. The yellow bar is the armor, which has been crushed by Yasuke. And the other one is, of course, the HP bar. Next up, more enemies approaching, and you can see, yep, we got the black and white effect. It's been already in the Xbox trailer, but it's there again. And yeah, it's fancy, but I would turn it off, to be honest, if I can. I'm not sure if we can turn it off, but it might be the case. Those people are extremely nervous. They were harassed by, of course, the Fukushima or Fujioka, right? Sending one in beforehand, instantly dying in a Ghost of Tsushima style battle. And next up, of course, the boss fight. I don't know. I'm curious if Naoe could one-hit assassinate him. We first broke his armor, the helmet, of course, and the shoulder pads.
Who do you think you are?
Yeah, who is he? A little dialogue in it. I don't know. I think we might miss the dialogue if we one-hit assassinate him with Naoe. And you can see it's quite easy, in my opinion, if you parry right. And then we get the black and white red effect again for the decapitation. And yeah, looking quite brutal, to be honest, in some parts. While in others it looks a little bit more, I don't know, gloomy, atmospheric. But yeah, now we're approaching and rescuing us, of course, or coming to aid.
I was going to handle this.
Too slow. What did
Yeah,
you
pretty
find?
slow.
The samurai has been stealing from the villagers. He has been starving the people here for some time.
So now we know who he worked for.
A daimyo in Fukushima Castle.
We should go.
Not before we send our allies to look for him. He'll be difficult to find.
Alright, this is pretty interesting because we can scan the area with a scout. As you see, we have 3 scouts, and yeah, they tell us where to go. So,
The
quite a
daimyo.
handy tool in my opinion.
He's there.
And extremely nice
take
to
the
have
lead.
those kind of,
We can
I would
sneak
say,
in.
AoE
Won't charge through the front gate.
animals pulls us on the map. And now comes the interesting part. We can, of course, play
It's
as
almost
Naoe
dark.
or Yasuke.
No one
She
will see
can
me coming.
go via roof,
will not
or
stand a
Yasuke,
chance.
he can break through the gate,
Be careful in there.
storm the gate, as
Don't
Kyle
worry.
Gass would do
I won't be
with
alone.
Jack Black, of course.
It'll be me and the shadows.
Yeah, it looks extremely interesting
the shadows.
watching Naoe's gameplay.
Serve the
I
light.
personally prefer Naoe, so you better be
I'll go
excited
straight
for
for
that
the daimyo.
portion here. The part
When
of the
fighting a
gameplay.
snake, why wrestle the body when you can slice off the head?
Yeah, good question. So, first up, Naoe approaching in stealth. She has a visible meter on the top, which you can see there. And she's more visible in light. You can see, yeah, she's very visible right here. A little less visible right now. And it really depends on the light source and the range of the light source. So, quite interesting mechanic. Approaching
You're
through the
mine
shadows,
now.
she's invisible right here. Now she is not invisible anymore. Approaching that dude, but beforehand, of course, turning off the lamp. Well, he gets alarmed. And by the way, it's quite interesting to see her tools right here. She has, of course, the sickle with the chain, and she has the katana. Also, this one is a super interesting assassination in my opinion. She's pulling herself to the target while assassinating over some water. And yeah, we could approach the guard, but Naoe decides to not do that and jump on the roof. I think both characters, they really play different from what I see so far, because you can clearly see the animations and so on. She's very agile, very fast-paced, feels like a real ninja, and maybe a little bit like Spider-Man, while Yasuke
A grave, huh?
might feel like Eivor, I would say, which might be a good comparison. She's almost detected right here. but she will escape. And yeah, regarding the civilists, you can grab enemies and then decide if you want to assassinate or knock them out. I'm extremely interested in the loot system. If we will have some kind of loot system right here, because there was like this samurai statue, but she didn't interact with it yet. That doesn't mean that this won't be in the game, but this feature right here, wow, what a feature! I love it. She decided to open the door and then yeah, get in. And now keep your eyes open. I will just let the gameplay speak for itself, because this scene is very
He's
cool
coming.
as well.
I need to hide.
She needs to hide and then goes up on the ceiling or under the ceiling. While she could assassinate him there, she chose to not do so. I don't know why. And I also don't know why that guard didn't alarm anything, because he must have seen the dead body, in my opinion. But yeah, this is our target. This is, of course, Hayashi. Now there are multiple approaches she could take now. And she decides to go somewhere else and see what she can do with him.
Fujioka
There are
must have been
two
the
guards,
samurai
of
Yasuke
course,
took out. Good riddance.
protecting him. She decides to use the throwing knife on that guy.
A daimyo like that.
And she also has 3
deserves slower
adrenaline, which
death
means
than
she
the
can
one
like
I'm
use
about to give him.
3 of those attacks, I guess. One looks like the chain assassination, the other like a kick, and the third one like breaking the armor. She decides to go there, and now comes the interesting part. She can breathe via a straw, which is amazing in my opinion, and just makes sense to be able to breathe. We get the nice red, white, black effect back, which I would turn off, but I also turn off, of course, the Assassin's Creed 1 filter for Assassin's Creed Mirage, and that terraforming light, destruction of the environment, just looks great in my opinion, and pretty fun, because she can actually like tear down the bamboo. And I'm curious if this bamboo will be cut down permanently, or it will be back once we return. I think, to be honest with you guys, it will be back once we return. But for me, that's not that big of a deal breaker, because it's just a small portion of part of the game. Now we're escaping via roof, and we got this awesome rain and lightning effects. Yeah, and that's the gameplay trailer itself. With some seasons, I got some footage, additional footage with seasons, and we will check that out as well right here. Some awesome cuts at the end. And I'm hyped, to be honest with you guys. I love that direction that Assassin's Creed is taken, and I think the game looks really great with those 2 options, high replayability. We have a lot of ships as well, which might hint to naval combat. Well, yeah, that's the whole part of the gameplay right here. We also have like this backdrop for the seasons, which is interesting in my opinion, because we see all the 4 seasons in a loop. This is, of course, summer, very green, everything is in bloom. Then it's turning to autumn, leaves start to fall. Billy Talent loves that, as said before. And, of course, some yellowish, while in winter we have less and less green, with a little bit more snow. Gives me also some Valhalla vibes, because the engine, yeah, of course, it still looks like Valhalla, to be honest, in this case as well. I don't see a pretty new Assassin's Creed via graphics here. And to be honest with you, this is just, spring is my favorite time of the year, my favorite season so far, because of the cherry bloom. It just looks awesome. We also have yet another clip of Fukushima, just a simple zoom in on the town with a still life, but it looks cool in my opinion. I love the atmosphere, and I love the atmosphere they created. The artworks led to a certain type of atmosphere, and they nailed it in my opinion so far. Of course, the graphics, they look like Valhalla with no big upgrade. Yeah, and I also love the color of the water. But yeah, in my opinion, it looks great. it looks good enough for me to play it, to enjoy it. I'm curious if you guys will play and enjoy it. Feel free to enjoy the channel a little bit further and leave a subscription here. That would be awesome. Also feel free to check out this video on Assassin's Creed Shadows, or that video on Assassin's Creed Shadows as well. Would be awesome. Thank you so much for tuning in, and goodbye guys. Thanks.